Hey guys, Fox here. Time for another episode of Game Gods for the month of November in 2024. I've got a few things here, especially a bunch of cheap stuff I got on the Sega CD. So looking forward to sharing that. To get started, at an indoor flea market here in town locally, found a good sale from a vendor there and picked up a few titles I did not have, including two for the N64. First up is Duke Nukem 64. I have yet to give this one a shot. I'm sure it plays miserably compared to what I'm used to on the computer, but you never know. But it's one of the few mature rated games on the system. Next is Majora's Mask. I did not own this on the 64. I have the remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it, on the 3DS, but I did play this originally when it first came out and sold it a long time ago. But I remember not really enjoying the way the game played. I need to give it a shot again now just to see how it plays. But yeah, this one has the little lenticular label, which is kind of neat. I'm not sure if that was the only way these came or not. I'm not a big N64 knowledge base guy here. Up next, I found this one actually pretty cheap for I think 28 bucks at the same flea market, and it's for the Vita, and it's Fallen Legion. So this is a pretty cool, unique game from an Indonesian studio, I believe, and it's like a side-scrolling turn-based RPG. Very interesting. Really cool hand-drawn graphics and all that. Kind of makes you think of Vanillaware a little bit. But yeah, this was a limited run release, and one I was not familiar with, so I went ahead and picked that up. Also there, I found this unique little figurine stashed with a bunch of different other figurines like Turtles and G.I. Joes and all kinds of old figurines this guy was selling. But it is original it's not Jessie, which, you know, the female character from Team Rocket from the anime, or the original Pokemon stuff. So just no movable limbs or anything. It's just a standalone little figurine. So I thought it was kind of cool. I'll add it to the original Pokemon shelf. Up next is my only Switch game for the month. I haven't not been buying a lot of modern stuff. I've been keeping that to save for wish lists and stuff like that for the holidays. But this one was really dirt cheap on sale. I think $17. One I want to play, and my son is also interested in playing. So it is Cult of the Lamb. I heard a lot about this. Was it a year or two ago in the Game Awards? A lot of people really loving this game. So for that price, I thought I'd pick it up. Up next, I went to a RetroCon here locally, and they had a lot of cool setup. They had these 80s, 90s, and 70s themed like living rooms set up all throughout with the old television, CRT televisions and everything. These old ancient couches, which seem minuscule to today's standards. But they had like some wood paneling in the back and all kinds of stuff. It was really cool, really fun to see. I brought the whole family over there, and we all enjoyed it over there. And my son enjoyed playing in those old living rooms. They even had a floor is lava area, which was kind of cool. He thought it was pretty fun. But they did have a little vendor hall, nothing big, but there was a guy there selling quite a few video games, and he had some pretty damn good deals. Here's one I've been looking for a while for a decent price, and that's Bloody Roar 2. I played a lot of Bloody Roar 1 and 2 back in the day, so it's cool to finally get a copy of this for a fair price. I think I paid $30 for it, so I think that's pretty good. I think it goes for around $40 to $50, so real good deal. Fun fighting game. If you haven't played any of the Bloody Wars, 2 was always my favorite. I never liked 3 or anything past it, but this was an awesome game. Also, I picked up, which I have yet to open, but that's okay. It shows the contents on the back. it was a re-release. I forgot who did these re-releases. I think it was Retro Brit, but I also think Limited Run did some distribution as well. But it's when they released these Toplan collections, you know, of those old 16-bit shooters. Well, I found this one sitting on the shelf, and it's for Truxton. And I was like, that's one I actually kind of wanted, because I don't have an original copy of Truxton. So he sold it to me for a fair price, about $75. I think that's about what it goes for, maybe just a little bit less than what it goes for. But it's sealed, so that was pretty nice. And they were designed to have, you're supposed to have multiples of them, so I could install a Toplan and stuff on there. But yeah, so it's just a re-release of Truxton for the Genesis. Got the cart and everything. You can kind of see the original box up there and the manual and stuff like that. This one also came with some stickers, a certificate, all that. And they released 3 different ones there. They recently did another batch of Toplan shooters, and I ordered one of those, and I think it was, what is it, Grindstormer or something like that? I can't remember. I'm really rough on my 16-bit shooters, but I did order one of them. So yeah, this will be fun. I'll break this open, and I'll probably put it into one of my shorts here, because I've been filming quite a few Genesis game shorts. So yeah, this will probably be up next. All right, on to the Sega CD current addiction is finding things for pretty damn good prices, really cheap on eBay, and kind of gambling on them, because as you all know, the Sega CD is pretty old. Those discs are getting old. Light scratches might mean it might not work at all. It might work fine, who knows. So it's a gamble. I usually find them really cheap, so that works for me. A big one I've been keeping an eye on is a renovation game called Road Adventure, and here it is. I found a disc-only copy for, I think, about $23. So the pictures made the disc look pretty good, and it was being sold by a actual physical game store. I forgot where they were located, but I looked them up. So that told me that they probably really actually tested the disc and or cleaned it quite well. And to my surprise, they also sent it in this DVD case with printed artwork, which was also a bonus. So this is an awesome F&B game, but it's in the style of an animation, kind of like your Dragon's Lair, Space Ace, stuff like that. But this one's really cool. It's where you're driving a car and you have like these quick time events to steer the car around other vehicles or explosions and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. I made a short on this one already, so you can kind of see a little bit of the gameplay there. Up next is San Diego Zoo presents The Animals. This is just a walking simulator as you go through the San Diego Zoo, and you can look at exhibits and you can learn more things about the animals there and stuff like that. Kind of reminds you of those old Encarta encyclopedias that you would put in your computer, or they had that on the Sega CD as well. But not much else to say. It's kind of neat, a little bit nostalgic to see how you could see these type of games, or quote-unquote games. Up next is Jurassic Park for the Sega CD in a very rough case. It looks like somebody tried to take off a sticker and scrubbed it a little too hard, so this case is rough. But this one's interesting. I'm sure a lot of you have played the other Jurassic Park games on like the Genesis and the Super Nintendo or Game Boy, and they're kind of like just little action games, platformers, and stuff like that. This one definitely is not. This one is a walking simulator where you learn about dinosaurs. So you go to the different environments, you click on these things, and then you have this bearded, long-haired fella tell you about the different dinosaurs and stuff like that as you click on them. So it's kind of like a little museum style piece. So you just walk around the park and stuff and look at and learn about the different animals. It's kind of neat. Different from the other ones, that's for sure. This one was a little bit of a disappointment. Not because of the game itself, but because the game didn't quite work, which is that game ball I talked about earlier. So it's ESPN Sunday Night Football. There you have the famous Chris Berman there, who still does his NFL primetime show every Sunday, which is amazing. He's been doing it for like 40 years. But anyway, So I was excited to play this one because I was pretty sure it was going to feature Chris Berman doing some type of talking or show on the football back in the early 90s. This is like 93 or 94 in this game. So I started up and I was playing it. Yeah, you could see that he kind of does there, but the game's audio starts cutting out after you go past the menu screen. So the game would play, but the audio was cutting out. So that was a little bit of a disappointment. So I'm going to be in the hunt for another copy of this, and hopefully it will be working properly. I could probably go a little cheap and hopefully could find just a disc. But yeah, on the hunt for another copy of this. Luckily, it's not expensive at all. Next one is Cliffhanger. This is this one's weird. It shows a lot of clips from the movie, and it's kind of a beat 'em up game. So you walk around and beat 'em up, and it's not fair. It's very difficult. It's pretty bad. But I did a short on this one too. So it's kind of interesting to see all the F&B scenes and stuff. That's probably pretty cool to see back in the day. But the gameplay itself is rather difficult, not very good. So, and last game I have here is something I pre-ordered a while ago on Amazon, and it's for PS5, and it is the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. This game always piqued my interest. It looked very unique and a game I really wanted to try. I didn't read a whole lot into it. I just know what kind of game it is, so I thought it would be kind of fun to see this first-person little odd adventure. So if any of you played this, tell me what you think. All right, I got a couple working designs things here, but some of them, one's not official working designs. And it is a guidebook, and it's one of the only guidebooks for this game, in English that is, and it is for Dragon Force. And it's Prima's unofficial game secrets for Dragon Force, which I thought was cool. Dragon Force is one of my favorite games of all time, and I kind of wanted to get this book for my collection for a while, but it just, not a lot here. Black and white, nothing fancy. It just kind of gives you secrets on how to set up your armies and what kind of troops you should use when you're different information about the different castles and the generals who are usually there and the items that can be found and stuff like that. It's still kind of a neat book, especially for Dragon Force fans, but other than that, it's nothing special. Other than that, it's pretty rare and can demand quite a price. I had one in my watch list in eBay for a long time until a guy finally shot offers out and I jumped on it. So happy to have that. Other things I did find is in the hopes that I will be framing these eventually, but they're ads from magazines that are in really good condition that somebody nicely cut out of these old magazines to sell them. And then I'm thinking about eventually maybe I could frame them up or something like that, put them, I don't know where I'd put them. I don't really have a lot of wall space, but you know, cool ideas, right? But here's one for Elemental Gearbolt. Really like this ad page. Talks about the contest to win the 10 grand. You know, co-sponsors between EGM and EB Games. It's kind of cool to see two defunct things. And then also got one for Vey, a game that recently myself and Alex from Return to Mother Base played. Pretty cool. I like these little ad pieces, so if I find them cheap, I try to pick them up. I think I have one for Lunar, I have one for Dragon Force, so I got these ones. Here's one for Vanguard Bandits on PS1. Very cool. Alright guys, those are the pickups for November 2024. Let me know what you guys have been picking up, and thanks for watching.